March 31st, 2015, Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. We could really say worldwide now, even though we said worldwide before, but worldwide for real. After that little session that we got on the weekend, my brother Gary the Andiel out in out east, yeah, Islam to all the Moors worldwide, worldwide, and whoever's not game to be down with nationality and birthrights, that's all right. You stay there, and we're gonna sit here and watch you suffer as usual. The theme of Moors, of a Moor's life, is watching people who they love suffer because they don't want to proclaim their nationality. They want to think this is some whatever. So peace and love, Moors. We want to rise and give honors to Allah, give rise and honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali for doing that monumentous work that he did in bringing us back into the constitutional fold of government so that we will know the truth about our nationality and birthrights and learn to love instead of hate, because hatred is what's destroying the world. Hatred is what's destroying the world. You could not like something, you can disagree with something, you can not care about something. When you start hating stuff, you know that you're on the downward spiral. Just because Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, learn to love instead of hate, and that was back then, 1913. 1913, told his people that they're not Negro, black, colored. What we got, 2015, people still talking about they're black, right? People still under color of law, even though they're not colored people, but they're under color of law. Getting treated like Negroes still, with no remedy. Anything that happens to them, right? So, as usual, we're gonna do what we do, Canaanland Moors class, Tuesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. And, spread the word, feel free. I mean, you already know what's up. We also want to give a shout out to Moors Heritage and History School blog talk show tonight, blogtalkradio.com/MHHS-eyes wide open at 9:30 p.m. If you call in early to get a seat. If you can't get a seat in class, don't worry. It's online, so you can get at least 2 hours of your pineal gland kicked in by the Moors, because we don't play around. We never used to play around, and it's getting more serious right now because people are waking up at alarming rates. But people are also fooling people at an alarming rate. So what I wanted to start with, actually, before we go out, you're going to go on Facebook, you're going to look for a brother by the name of Seton Rabe. Seton Rabe, brother Seton Rabe has a connection to a good brother that we know, because we always try to support Moors. And brother Seton Rabe has a good brother that he's down there with, by the name of brother Nebu. And brother Nebu is pushing right now these copper Circle 7 bracelets, you know what I'm saying? So you can copy yours, especially if you're Moors, you need that copper energy. Make sure you go get your stuff. This is the plain one. They got the ones that got, the designs on it and stuff like that. This is just the regular, this is the sampler, right? So you can go get yourself coppered up. And then I got to give a shout out to my Nwapian brother, Brother Atum Hutep Emery, who's also on Facebook, AtumHutipEmre. And this is his joints that he's got. Make sure you know, he's Nuapian, but he got his fez up and all that, so, you know, we're not playing no games with the fam. You know what I mean? Let you know what's going on. Keep yourself energized in these days and times, because all these demons out here, they're doing what they gotta do to make sure that their people don't make it. All these demons out here. Who's all these demons? All these demons are these so-called Negro black colored leaders or whatever like that. Hebrew Israelite, whatever they call themselves, leaders, don't have a nationality, don't talk about Noble Drew Ali, diss him and all that type of stuff, just because they want you to detach, right? We wanted to put a plug out. We want to put a plug out of an event coming up, Sunday, April 19th. The man, the legend, the netter, Dr. Ben. Then you have, you know, all the people in the conscious community going to be there, you know. But then when you check, only one individual has a nationality on there. Only one individual is going to be there speaking anything worth going there to listen to. Everybody else is going to be talking some crap. So if you do go, make sure you go, hear what Brother Taj has to say, and then get the hell out of there, because these guys are going to be talking crap all day. All right? Mainly because majority of the people on here, except Taj Tweet Bay, they don't got no nationality. They're pushing some crap to sell you out once again, make these colonists, whoever, have jurisdiction over you, because remember, they're not where you're at when you go home. When you go home, you got to deal with them people, them colonists or whatever, on your own, right? Now, the reason why we're plugging this is because, you know, we were building with some people today, you know what I'm saying? Some personal, some people who are, you know, personal with Dr. Ben, right? We're not talking about, you know, the sideshow people who, you know, do stuff, accolades and whatever like that. Oh yeah, we want to make sure also too that we get this on there. You know, right down here, don't forget to bring your, well, not bring your 20 bucks, because, you know, 20 bucks in advance for this event. You know, they're honoring the elder, but they got a price tag on it in advance, right? And then, you know, probably 30 or whatever at the door. Now, once again, you know, sponsor, you know, New Covenant, you know, sponsor people, right? Sonetter Studios now, you know, it's a consciousness no more. Step the game up, right? Sponsor, right? Sponsoring this honor of the elder, right? Honor of the elder, okay? But they're telling you 20 notes. So my question, and this is what we were building about earlier. My question is, if it's going down like this, why are you charging $20 at the door for people to come to some honoring the elders? If it's going down like this, if this is what's going down with New Covenant, if they're balling like this, if they're balling like this, why in God's name are they charging people at the door? I mean, isn't this their fiat? This must be their fiat. He's posing with it. So if this is their fiat, then, you know, why don't you put down some fiat, get the place, you know? Matter of fact, why don't you just use Marcus Garvey Park that's right up the street, you know what I mean? Have it free, do a barbecue or something like that, give out free food, you know, because you got it up like this, you know, you got it up like this so you could, you know, feed the community and all that stuff, you know what I mean? If you're going to honor the elder, you know, and honor him, you know what I mean? Proper. You know, people come up with the mic and talk shit or whatever like that for 10 minutes, and then, you know, Everybody pay their $20, and then at the end of the night, these guys are splitting the door. You know what I mean? All these debates that they've been had, I can't find nobody in the community who said, oh yeah, that debate made, whatever. They hit us off with, 5,000 for our law school in Mecca, or they hit us off for, 5,000 for our more science temple, because they thought all this unity stuff and whatever, you know what I mean?
No unity.
Ain't nobody getting hit off with their little fiat. Because remember, they got it up like this. They don't need to make nothing off the door. If it's going on like this, no need to make nothing off the door. The jungle gym, something in the community, do you do anything? Nothing? Right? But that's how it goes with stateless people. Because stateless people are all about raping their people. Why? Because they work for the other side of the stuff. Right? They work for the other side. Now, you know, if you're killer, we could see, you know, you doing certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a killer, stand by your killer stuff, you know what I mean? Regardless of what, you know what I mean? We're dealing with the killer stuff, and that's it. There ain't no reforming or nothing like that. The killer, right? Okay. Now, and we were talking about learn to love instead of hate, noble duality, honor noble duality, all that stuff, right? So this one came out too, right? Brother Polite shoots up the Holy Bible. I hate Hebrew Israelites and I hate their God. Right? Now, if somebody has, body on, he talks about it, ain't no secret, you know what I mean? He talks about, he murdered somebody and stuff like that. Why are you posing up with shooting up stuff and all that stuff if you know what I mean, you're supposed to be reformed or whatever? If you're reformed, right? Don't forget, the people follow these guys. Don't forget, this is what he's doing with your fiat that you guys give him, $1,500 packages and all that stuff. Just go on the website. All the prices are there. Name reclamation, $600, and all these whatever. This is what they're doing with your fiat. All these people who follow these jokers, right? And then want to talk about righteousness and foolishness or whatever, shooting up Bibles, right? Shooting up Bibles. But you're never gonna go support Brother Frohawk, right? If you haven't seen any of Brother Frohawk's art, just Google him, right? Brother Frohawk Feathers, go Google him. How about you go buy some of his art? You know, just go buy some of his art. Forget giving these clowns your fiat and support something worth supporting, right? You already know what's up. There it is right there. No secret. You already know what Frohawk's on. But you're not gonna support this because let's do more. Fez is, oh, that's Islam and whatever. You know, we're not ISIS, what I mean, terrorists or whatever like that. They're gonna label me as a terrorist, so I don't want to support or whatever. Right? Brother Frohawk, just to show, we're gonna do something. If you got game up like that, instead of buying guns and shit like that, why don't you support the brother? Buy some of his artwork. I mean, you got fiat. You obviously got fiat. You got racks, balling, coming out of Bentleys and stuff like that. You know what I mean? All right, Brother Frohawk Feathers. Just go look him up. You know what I mean? So you can know what's up. It's not a secret. All his art has a particular theme. You know, all his art has a theme. And it's real funny that people are gonna support clowns that call themselves conscious or whatever like that, and not support real work. They support fake work every day, all day. Never support morals. Right? Just like Sabir was saying on the show. They got fiat or whatever, they're doing all these stuff. But after he's dead, now they want to do, parade, go down the street, you know what I mean, waving flags or whatever, talking about, yeah, we honor him. you know. But when he's alive, though, you know, they're not, you know, right? Now, another thing that we're just gonna touch on, you know, briefly, just with regard to, you know, death or stuff like that, you know,
Okay.
right? Um, Keep in mind where this is coming from, right? Proceedings of the State Bar Association of Wisconsin. Islam to all the Moors in Wisconsin, you know what I mean? Because I already know what you're going to be dealing with. Proceedings of the State Bar Association of Wisconsin by State Bar Association of Wisconsin, right? This is what they had to say. Interesting stuff. Um, Quote, Ryan made a most beautiful address. I was seated in the bar next to Mr. Ryan's personal, intimate friend, Mr. Thomas L. Ogden. And as Mr. Ryan concluded a beautiful panegyric upon the life and character of Judge Smith, Mr. Ogden turned to me with a deep sigh, said, Ryan is very fond of dead lawyers. Laughter. Possibly this suggestion of Mr. Ogden may find its warrant in the following beautiful excerpt from the address of Judge then Mr. Ryan to the Supreme Court upon the presentation of the portrait of Judge Dunn. There is something deeply instructive in the reverence and tenderness with which we cherish the memory of the dead. This is not altogether the result of our affection for the living. It is a trite observation that honor often strives to compensate the dead for the world's neglect of them living. There are ample evidence of constant affection among brutes, but the brute dead or even dying is unheeded and forgotten of by his followers. There is no love in nature for the extinct. With us, there is a sanctity in death which is not given to life. We love the dead more that they are dead. And it is true, and this is true, not only of those we loved in life, but of others whom we never knew true in its degree, of the good and great who died 1,000 years before our day. Our own dead we jealously treasure in our secret hearts, with a love which sometimes sleeps but never dies, with a longing for them, which in faith is their life after death. This is the normal confession of the heart of the immortality of the soul. It is the voice of nature speaking through all times in all human hearts, however enlightened by true philosophy or darkened by false, which no faith can exclude and no philosophy can deny. It is not the voice of our hearts, it is the voice of God speaking in our hearts, the instinct of nature bearing witness to its own imperishable essence and to him who gave it. For love belongs to the living, not the dead. For all the paraders, you know what I mean? We honor dead people, right? We can admire the inanimate value, its qualities, enjoy its uses, but we cannot love it. The fabled sculptor who loved the marble beauty, his own chiseled fashion, is not more mythical in the power to animate the marble than in the feeling to love the inanimate. We stand in pleased wonder before the artist's counterfeit of the human form because it mocks us with the look of life. We bend in reverent awe of the body of the dead because it held the life that cannot die. The statue may, and then they go into some other stuff. But the reality of the situation, if these people, so-called conscious people, were so awake,
Yeah.
if they were so awake, they would know that man is spirit, not the flesh. Ain't no Dr. Ben dead or nothing like that. You know what I mean? His work lives on. If, you know, they're really serious or whatever, they'll take some of this right here. They'll go buy every single goddamn Dr. Ben book that there is out there to go buy and give them to every single young person that they see for free just because, you know, it's the right thing to do if you honor him and you honor his legacy. But we have a tendency as, you know, so-called conscious people to play this game mainly with ourselves, that, we got it going on, you know what I'm saying? Nobody else has it going on.
No one else got
You
it.
know what I mean? We're the only ones because, we got dashikis and shea butter, plantain soap, or whatever like that. We got something going on. When we don't have anything going on, we're the deadest people on the planet. Conscious people, right? And on top of that, they don't have a nationality. Playing around, right? So it's the conscious people, which why we're gonna put this out again. You know what I mean? Just to stress the point. Just to stress the point. We're gonna put it out there again, right? Put it out there again. Common says black people showing love to white people is the cure to racism. Put it out last week, put it out again just because, you know what I mean? People want to pretend like, you know, Common's a sellout and he's a coon because, you know, he's a whatever, blah, 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 right? When he's echoing Noble Drew Ali, learn to love instead of hate. You know what I mean? Stop the crap, right? As America continues to question and wrestle with the myth of post-racial society, it appears Common may have found a possible solution to combat racism, or maybe not. During an appearance on Comedy Central's The Daily Show last week, the Oscar and Golden Globe winner explained why black people should extend a hand to white people and forget about the past as it pertains to race relations. Quote, if we've been bullied, we've been beat down, and we don't want it anymore, we are not extending a fist, and we are not saying you did us wrong. It's more like, hey, I'm extending my hand in love, he said to host Jon Stewart. Let's forget about the past as much as we can and let's move from where we are now. How can we help each other? Can you try to help us because we are going to try to help ourselves too? To underscore his resolution, the Chicago native went on to state how focusing on racism from the past is similar to reiterating negative issues with relationships. Me as a black man, I'm not sitting there like, hey, white people, y'all did us wrong. We know that existed, Common said. I don't even have to keep bringing that up. It's like being in a relationship and continuing to bring up the person's issues. Now I'm saying, hey, I love you. Let's move past this. Come on, baby, let's get past this. The rapper's comments have since drawn a few opposing reactions, most notably New York Times columnist and author Charles Blow took to his personal Twitter account on Tuesday, blah, blah, offered their 2 cents about whatever, right? When the brother's just telling people, stop the stop the foolishness. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody who's around in 2015 had anything to do with slavery. Zero. Had nothing to do with it. Before our time or whatever like that. No need to be, beating this horse about, how about proclaiming your nationality, correct your status, so they stop treating you like niggers. And this, we're not talking about the dead people. We're talking to the conscious people. We're talking to people who claim that they know themselves. People who have, bookshelves and stuff like that at their house. You know what I mean? They read everything. They know who they are. You know what I mean? And all that. But you ask them, let me see some ID to back up, what your claim is. If you say that you're a Rastafarian, well, let me see your Rastafarian ID. Right? We already told people, Rastafarians who don't get it, we already told them, one, the founder of the Bobo Shanti Order, Charles Edwards, right? Corrected his name from Edwards, because no slave or nothing like that. Called himself Emmanuel, right? Emmanuel was in constant communication with the Queen of England through letters, telling her, you need to respect quote unquote black people because we have rights. UN Declaration says, everybody has right to a nationality, all that type of stuff. Letting them know what it is. But they don't want to hear that. Right? They want to be the black people, they want to be Ethiopians, all this stuff like that. Noble Drew Ali already told them, they're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian, but they're going to still go around and talk about their Ethiopian. Show pictures of Haile Selassie, I call him God or whatever, when he himself said, I'm not God, I'm just a man, I worship Jesus Christ, I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about, but I'm God. They don't want to hear that, right? Has his golden fez. They don't want to hear that he's more. They'll make up all types of stuff that he's not a Moor, but he has a golden fez on.
Don't they vacation at the Moor?
Right? Okay? Went to the UN, not as Emperor of Ethiopia, but as Emperor of Abyssinia. But they're Ethiopian. When the guy who they say is their god or whatever isn't Ethiopian, he's Abyssinian. And he says that. Right? We put up this one, we posted this one. You should go get this book, just so you know that we're not lying or whatever. The Lion of Judah Has Prevailed by Christine Sanford. And in this book, quote, like we said, we already told them, you know what I mean? We told all these people. They don't want to think that this is some kind of game. Keep playing games, right? 2008, 2009, when it first came into the information, wrote the book for all Garveyites, Rastafarians, black nationalists, and Pan-Africans. Nationality, the order of the day, the divine message and warning to all Garveyites, Rastafarians, black nationalists, Pan-Africans, or whatever. In the book, which is now a book for real now, filed in the Library of Congress and all that type of stuff, right? We put the quote in the book. The young Dejazmik, who was Haile Selassie, found himself sent to further his education and enrolled in the new Menelik school put in charge of by an Egyptian, Hannah Bey Saleb. Now, Hannah Bey, an Egyptian by the name of Hannah Bey, not a Moroccan, not a, Moabite, not a whatever. The same stuff that these people claim, chematology, whatever like that, pharaohs and pyramids, builders and whatever like that, freaking serpents on the crown and all that stuff. An Egyptian with the name Bey. But no, Egyptians are Moors, chematologists are Moors, they can't get down with this or whatever like that. Playing games, right? Been telling people, right? People who, like we said, did matter of fact, let's just so you guys know how real it is. So you know how real it is. Just so you know how real it is. 2004. Hench for Life Edutainment, 2004. Right? So this was our first album. You know what I mean? Right? This is our first album right here. Hench for Life Edutainment presents Open Mind, Open Mic. Still in the package. You know what I mean? Because we still got boxes and stuff like this of this CD right here. You know what I mean? If you want 3D cent pay, shipping, we send you a CD, no problem, no big deal. Because this is 2004. But just so you know that it was Rastafarian before. You know what I mean? Like, Haile Selassie as God and all that stuff, like, you know what I mean? Right? Before.
Everything's different.
Right? Before. All these people right here, that's the Bobo priest that we told y'all that lives upstairs, that he got his Circle 7 or whatever like that. He's on the science or whatever, right? He still wears his turban and all that stuff, still says Haile Selassie or whatever like that. But, I just talked to him today, and he's on the, I don't work nights no more, so I can come to class now. Every Tuesday you're going to see me at class now because I don't work nights no more. Rastafarian, a high priest of the Bobo Shanti order of Rastafari, coming to the Moors classes. Not some nobody, a high priest, went to Bobo Hill in Jamaica, got ordained as a high priest, did the thing to be a high priest in the Rastafari stuff. But then, and then, then we got, um, and then right here, right, that face that you can't see with the fisherman hat right there, right? That's my brethren Huey Heights, who's on the science. He was one of the first muftis out here, you know what I mean? On the science, and all these other people right here, all these other faces that you see, they're not on this info or whatever. They're trying to convince me of, Morris did something, put people in slavery or whatever like that. Weirdos, right? People who, you know, 15 years or whatever, try to tell them about, well, know each other 15 years, and, you know, like, when you get down with the stuff, nah, well, all right, cool, do your thing, you know what I mean, right? Whatever, it is what it is, right? But I'm gonna quote somebody again, just to show that, we're not the only ones that's sick and tired of this crap with these people claiming stuff and then they don't, you know what I mean? So we're gonna go to an interview by Eric Bogosian, Bogosian, with Chris Rock, called "No Time for Your Ignorance." Right? No time for your ignorance. You're on your own if you want to play like we don't know what's up or whatever like that. Right? What's Chris saying, right? Bogosian, do you ever get angry at people who you work with because they tell you it's a great show and it's not? Rock, they can't tell. My brothers Andre and Tony can tell. My producer Nelson George can tell. My sister can tell. 4 people in the whole world can see people laughing and still say it's not a good show. Bogosian, what about anger? You seem to move from mischievousness to malice to outright anger in your show. You talk about the anger of all black men and how they hide it. Rock, when they're around white people, they don't do anything. Then they get real angry when the white man walks away. Cracker. Bogosian, young black people don't do that. Rock, all black men. These guys rode in the back of the bus for a long time, and all that went with it. Hard to get rid of that. Someone like me, a lot younger, I didn't go through that. Bogosian, I'm angry at everybody and I don't even need a reason. If I were black, Rock, you're not. Bogosian, no, but I get pulled over every time I get on an airplane. It's the ethnic hair, I think. But you seem angry at blacks, like you're resentful of your own kind. You pick on black behavior a lot. Rock, I pick on ignorance. Anyone who thinks it's cool is stupid. Bogosian, there are blacks you are clearly angry at. You used the word nigger in your HBO show. Rock, I guess I did. Bogosian, your audience is made up of whites, many of whom are happy to hear how lazy or stupid blacks are. You're using the word nigger, and some of the whites' audience is saying that's right. Rock, every ethnic group divides itself, criticizes itself. I know gay guys who say fag. What I said got more attention because it was black people, and we tend to get more attention when we do things. Bogosian, nigger is a heavy duty word. You better have a good reason for using it. Rock, it's not that heavy duty. The thing with nigger is just that white people are ticked off because there's something they can't do. That's all it is. I'm white. I can do anything in the world, but I can't say that word. It's the only thing in the whole world that the average white man cannot use at his discretion. Bogosian, in this community, the message from celebrities on music, on talk shows, and in movies seems mixed. There's a lot of talk about family, about God, but there is no glorification of the street gangster lifestyle. Is that kind of schizoid? Rock. It's about wanting to be accepted where you're from. It's about acceptance at home. I'm always thinking, what happens if I had to go home, had to move back to Bed-Stuy? I'd want to be accepted. People think you're going to flip out and come all show business and not talk to them. People get the big entourage and all that and isolate themselves. My grandfather, who actually passed, was a preacher. I would watch him and I would listen to stuff. Dr. King, Malcolm X, Kennedy, because I just looked at it as the kind of same thing as I was trying to do, but without punchlines. I think everybody in front of a crowd is a comedian. I am not a smart guy. I dropped out of high school. I've read 10, 11 books in my life. Smart's knowing if you're dumb, knowing when to shut up and listen to people that are smarter than you. Put it this way, the inability to get a joke is the first sign of ignorance. Like when you tell a joke about a guy and he gets mad at you, that's a dumb guy. So everybody's fed up. Everybody's at their wit's end. Don't know what to do because it seems like these people just don't want to get it. For some reason, they just don't want to get it. I mean, and not only do they don't want to get it, but their influence is so big in ignorance, and they have such an influence on the world that the world wants to be ignorant now. Which leads us to the next article by Saeed Shabazz of Final Call newspaper, talking about Afro-Latinos want to be recognized as black. These people have the power to influence the whole entire world. I work in the school board. Every single nation that's a male, that's a teenager right now, has their pants off their ass. It don't matter if they're getting A's, B's, honor roll, whatever.
That's the flex.
The flex is pants off the ass. Where'd that come from? That didn't come from some Europeans. That came from our ignorant people. And once again, just like, the Moorish teachers say, everybody's waiting for the Moors. But, if the Moors being niggers, then the world's going to be niggers. Real simple. Afro-Latinos want to be recognized as black. Right? So just some interesting things that, they brought up in this. Right? Scholars, activists, and cultural representatives from Latino grassroots, we already know, as soon as you start talking about Latino, Hispanics, or whatever, is misnomer. They don't gravitate toward that, right? They say that that's colonizers or whatever term or whatever. So, because the colonizer is calling us, Latino, whatever like that, we want to be accepted, by something that, is recognizable, throughout the world or whatever, right? Foolishness. From Latino grassroots organizations gathered here for a 3-day Afro-Latin forum to express solidarity and their continued fight for their black identity. Right? The group literally wants the way Afro-Latinos are counted in the U.S. Census to change to reflect their race and not just their country of origin. So they want themselves denationalized so they can be recognized by the world. When the world recognizes them as Mexican, Bolivian, Brazilian, Peruvian, whatever, they're recognized as that, but they don't want that. They want to be recognized by race standards, which if you go to morriscivilletter.net, right, and you go under the race part, and you'll hear the master etymologist, Brother Abdullah El Talib Mozide Bey, break down to you about the origin of races, and that it was 4 Europeans that created the race standards. 4 Europeans created the race standards, right? Part of the reason is to remove the stigma from having a black identity and combat the undercounting for Afro-Latinos, which the group sees as a long-standing problem. The U.S. has had a 2-part race ethnicity question in 2000 and 2010. The first simply asks, are you Hispanic or Latino? With the response, yes or no. And if yes, what nationality? So they're asking them to qualify their national standard, their national position. And they don't want to identify themselves nationally. They want to identify how Negroes do it. Right. Professor tells Telles, who teaches courses in race and ethnicity with a special emphasis on Latin America and Latinos in the US, said Hispanics can identify as white. You know, right? For all the so-called Negro, black, colored conscious jackasses, when we tell them that, white is a status, not skin complexion, they don't want to hear that. But Hispanics can identify themselves as white. Or not only white, or black, or something else. However, most Hispanics choose white. Most Hispanics choose white. So my same thing, Moore's been telling these people, white is not no complexion of skin or nothing like that. It's the actual legal status. Right? Analysts said African descendants are well over a third of the total population in Latin America and 50% of those living in poverty. However, in the US, less than 3% of Latinos identify as black. Less than 3% identify as black. That is why this population falls between the cracks. Very few people select black, even Dominicans, who are often perceived as black in the US. We recognize that the Census Bureau wants to completely erase our diversity by lumping us into one group. We actually want to be recognized as black. Niggers. Spanish-speaking niggers. What's those? Moriscos. Right? Under the jurisdiction of the Spaniards, still mentally. When they have their own stuff, they got their own language, they got their own flag, they got their own land, but they don't want that. They want to be recognized like how the ignorant masses that are dark skinned above them in the north want to get recognized. Right? American First or Muslim? September 3rd, 2006. September 3rd, 13th, sorry, 2006. Minister Louis Farrakhan. Have some fun with this one. Remember, like we said last show, Minister Louis Farrakhan, when he was meeting up with Gaddafi to get money from Gaddafi to start up some black hair business or whatever like that out here, and just go research to go get the date, right? When he went to go see Gaddafi to go get the fiat, he couldn't get back in the country because he was talking crap about, I'm the nation of Islam and I'm a, black national crap and all that stuff. You guys can't touch me, blah, blah, blah. I could go see whoever I want anywhere, blah, blah, right there. And then they say, okay, you want to see whoever you want? Okay, well, you're not coming back here. Go, you ain't coming back here. But he's back here. How do you get back here? Well, word on the street is, like we said last week, you got these Moors out there who don't teach what Noble Drew Ali teaches. They teach that you can naturalize in order to, have a nationality. Because when you look up the definition of nationality, it tells you that nationality can be obtained through naturalization. So some Moors took it on themselves. They say, oh, payday. Get everybody to naturalize, and we got this. So, because he was, quote unquote, a foreigner to the U.S., right, which is foreign European corporation, right, he had to naturalize. So he went down to Temple 13 in Baltimore under Bratton Bay, right, and there was letters and stuff going between the Nation of Islam and the Moors in Temple 13, to make sure that, we're just checking this out and make sure this, 'cause we need our leader back in the country and all that type of stuff. And we need help from the Moors. Then if the Moors can help, you know what I mean, then we get him back and, I mean, whatever. Right? So then he, got back in the country because he had to naturalize to get back in the country. Right? Now, just like polite, you know, if if my brethren who had a spliff charge from 10 years ago can't go across the border, right? And that's all he had. That's the only crime he ever did ever in his life.
Yeah.
They found a spliff on him, and that's stopping him from going across the border. How does Polite have a body admitting? You go on YouTube, you could watch the video of him admitting about he murdered somebody. How does he get over here to do a lecture in Canada with a body on him, and the guy with the spliff can't get over?
Yeah.
The guy with the spliff is going through hell and high water to try to get that thing off his record or whatever.
Yeah.
Telling him about $5,000 or whatever to get to give him a pardon so he can go across.
Of course.
And then this guy has a body on him. He has a felony, and he could come over here, do a lecture, sell. Remember we told about the books this high, and then sold the books down to this, right? And then
That's all.
and then go back over. How? Because like if the guy with the spliff can't go over, and you can go over with you got a felony, you got a body on you. Obviously, you work for them people. Obviously, you work for them. Why is Farrakhan able to come back over? How's he coming back over here? Obviously, you work for them. Obviously, naturalization is a U.S. process that these Moors are doing under the guise of, we're the Moors, we're the sovereign, or we can do this process or whatever like that. When really, they're siding with the U.S. to get all these people under the jurisdiction of the 14th Amendment that Noble Drew Ali said is not necessary for the redemption of the people to bring him back in the country. And then now this guy could go parading around, do lectures or whatever like that, put up a picture of Noble Drew Ali, and then more so like, oh yeah, the Nation of Islam recognizes or whatever like that. And we're playing these people. Because why show a picture? Oh, but show me your nationality card. How about just tell all these people, you guys are Moors, you should go naturalize with Bratton Bay and those Moors over there, because that's how I got back in the country. And all you people who like to support Farrakhan or whatever like that, go to his stuff, go to his classes or whatever like that. Make sure you put your hand up, and you ask the question. Yo, I heard that you naturalized with Bratton Bay and them people. We'll tell you, that's who it is that he naturalized under. Bratton Bay. Temple number 13, Baltimore. But won't tell the people that they're Moors. They'll bring up Noble Drew Ali, show his picture. They'll play this game. But never are they going to really let the people know what's good. Right? So we just have to put that out there once again. You know what I mean? Just have to put that out there once again so that people could do their due diligence. Because, Bratton Bay and all those naturalizing Moors are on Facebook and YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Okay? And remember, it's a Moor in that told me that. Because, fighting over, naturalization versus nationality, blah, blah. Well, and then he came out of his, just, opened the bag and the cat just, right? He shouldn't open the bag because, that's secret information over there. That's secret info, right? More in that temple, battling, on Facebook, back and forth crap, you know what I mean? Trying to justify naturalization. I ain't buying it. I know better than that or whatever. And, reeled him in. So tell me somebody who, you know, naturalized if that's really the process.
Yeah.
You know, with a couple comments or whatever like that, and then dropped it. Well, Farrakhan did. Oh, okay. So now we know we could tell everybody. Now you know. You can tell everybody. Farrakhan's a more naturalized, but you know, still a more. So, America First or Muslim, September 13th, 2006. This is Minister Louis Farrakhan himself, you know, his own words in their own newspaper or whatever, you know. So, just so you know,
What did he say?
it's not no fabrication or whatever. This is their stuff, right? Elijah Muhammad wanted to see us evolve into a nation of obedience to the will of Allah and the adoption of a way of life that is complete. If you were born and live in America, you may say that you are an American first and happen to be a Muslim, but that's not so. Big quotes underline, arrows pointing for this next line or whatever. No nationality that you claim can properly define you. This is Farrakhan talking. No nationality that you claim can properly identify you. You may say you are Jamaican from a tiny little island in the Caribbean Sea that has a landmass that is very small, but it does not tell the world who you are. I'm a Jamaican. I'm from Egypt. I'm from the Sudan. I'm from Saudi Arabia. No piece of land can give you the dimension of who you are. You are what your nature is. If my nature is Islam, obedience to Allah, God, and I come up out of the earth, then the earth is my natural home. But my nationality isn't that I'm Muslim. My nation is Islam. You know, trying to justify the nation of Islam crap to dumb, ignorant people, right, who don't know that the quote unquote nation of Islam started as the Temple of Islam. How come it wasn't a nation in 1930? How come the Temple of Islam only became a nation, right? How come the nation is Islam only after the Temple of Islam? How come the nation wasn't Islam when it was Temple of Islam? Are you British or are you Muslim? You know, big quotes again. How can a flag that just came into existence tell you who you are when your existence did not begin with a flag? But they got a flag though that they stand behind or whatever like that. They got a flag that they're flying, you know, with a crescent on it and a star on it, which means Islam, you know. So why use the flag then? Why even have a flag? The flag doesn't mean nothing. I mean, why have one, right? Game that they're playing on people. Your existence began with the Creator, God Allah. Who made you? Allah. Who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Okay? Seems like they're borrowing lessons from people and not telling people where they get their stuff from. Right? Only Allah can define who you are. So when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "We are a nation within a nation," oh, doesn't that sound familiar? Nation within a nation?
A nation of which name? It's not a which name.
Right? He wanted us to come out of the white man's system of things and evolve into a complete Islamic way of life. Again, arrows, big thick marker, underline or whatever like that, you know, big quote unquotes, double quote unquotes, you know what I mean? Circle this line right here, right? I am told that when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad went to court and the judge asked him about his aim and purpose, he said he was going to make Black America Islamic. Now, Moors, listen to this. Tell me if you ever heard this before. The judge said that making black people Muslims was like putting pants on an elephant. The judge said that making black people Muslims was like putting pants on an elephant. For people who don't know, when Noble Drew Ali went on his pilgrimage to go learn and came back to America, and he went to those colonists and told them, "I want our flag back," or whatever. You know, George Washington chopped down the cherry tree, which is the Moorish flag or whatever. They hid it in the vault. Then he came back and said, "Bring the flag. You know, I want the flag," or whatever. Then they brought out the red flag, and then he said, "Oh no, that's not the one. You know, I want the flag with the green star on it." And then they brought that flag out. He told them, you know, "I want to get permission from you, you know, since you guys are the colonists that have all these people in servitude or whatever. I want permission to teach these Negroes Islam." The president at that time told Noble Drew Ali, "You think you're going to give these Negroes back Islam?
Teach them whatever you.
That's like putting a pair of pants on a horse." And then Elijah Muhammad's coming, talking about the judge told him about him giving black people Islam is like putting pants on an elephant. And you see why Noble Drew Ali is not talked about? Because, like brother said in the chat, Biden's heavy. Everybody bit Noble Drew Ali. Everybody took something from him, shut him, get him out the way, took his stuff, and then front like it's theirs. No different than dirty Moors do today. Like we say, you know, we parodying the prophet, you know what I mean? Yeah, Allah said this, and you know, whatever, and making statements and stuff like that. And people are like, wow, you know, this brother knows whatever like that. He must know more science or whatever. But then when you go check the records, you realize, hold on a second, Noble Jolly said that stuff, that whole lecture that you did or whatever, that you're saying is your stuff. That's not your stuff. That's Noble Drew Ali. How you taking Noble Drew Ali stuff and fronting like it's yours and then don't give him any credit at all? And if you do give him credit, it's, you know, some half-ass credit or whatever, right? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "I got one pant leg on already." What did he mean by that? How nations are formed. Before Elijah Muhammad, you looked at yourself as a Negro. Before Elijah Muhammad, you looked at yourself as a Negro. But before Elijah Muhammad, Noble Drew Ali told them that they're not Negroes, which they went with. Because, you know, like we said, FBI papers, 8 million members in the Moorish movement during Noble Drew Ali's time. So, obviously they knew that they weren't Negroes. If 8 million of them were down with the Moorish movement, right? One of our most wonderful black organizations was the United Negro Improvement Association, which showed that we still had a growing to do. What a wonderful, wonderful teacher Marcus Mosiah Garvey was. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad loved and admired him. Noble Drew Ali is the father of what you call the Moorish Americans or Moorish scientists. Noble Drew Ali was admired by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he said that Noble Drew Ali gave us a start in the direction toward Islam. The Moorish brothers wore fezzes with the crescent and the tassels swinging freely, and they wore the name Bey or El. It was a start. Get rid of the slave master's name. Hold on a second. The Moorish brothers wore fezzes with the crescent. You know, Moorish brothers wear no fezzes with crescents. The only brothers that wore fezzes with crescents were the ones after Noble Drew Ali got assassinated, when they tried to make this look like this was some religious movement. The only Moorish brothers that wore fezzes with crescents were the Temple of Islam. But remember, you never mentioned no Temple of Islam. You talking about Islamic Nation and NOI and all this crap, right? Now, Noble Drew Ali was admired by Honorable Elijah Muhammad because he said that Noble Drew Ali gave us a start in the direction toward Islam. But then over here, he's talking about that this is the way Islam came to America through Master Fard Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad. Hold on a second. Okay, so Noble Drew Ali gave us a start in the direction towards Islam, which is 1913, right? But Islam came to America through Master Fard Muhammad and Honorable Elijah Muhammad, which is 1930. There's a contradiction in the numbers. The timeline warped a little bit. If he's gonna make the statement that Islam came to America through Fard and Elijah Muhammad, okay. So this is why, more study so we can, have multiple sources. You know, you study and you find stuff and then stuff and then stuff and then stuff and then you make a decision based on all the stuff that you find. All right. So we'll just put this one out there again. Muslim Journal newspaper, 2006. Oh, September 13th, 2006, April 7th, 2006. Interesting. Searching for Allah. More scientists, Noble Drew Ali, founders to Nation of Islam. So all these guys are about every day, all day is damage control. So that they don't lose their little credibility that they got. You know what I mean? People thinking that, they're some black Islamic whatever and they're the start of the stuff and whatever like that. When prior to 1930, all these jokers were in the Moorish Science Temple. And then just to put it on the record again, remember that Noble Drew Ali told the Moors, you are what your foremothers and forefathers were, without doubt or contradiction. Could anybody doubt, right? Could anybody doubt that this man right here doesn't look like Taj Tariq Bey? This man right here. Tell me that's not Taj right there. Remember, this is the convention picture. Could anybody tell me that that's not Taj in 1928 when Taj wasn't around yet? Right? Look at the picture good. Tell me if that's not Taj. On the convention picture, right? With Noble Drew Ali, there's Noble Drew Ali right there, right? You are what your foremothers and forefathers were, without doubt or contradiction. And there's Taj right there in frickin' 1928 at the convention. We've been Moors. Not a secret. Go check it yourself. Picture's kind of blurry, but pull up the convention picture. Look for the man in the corner right there, right? Look for that brother right there, and tell me if that's not Taj right there. In 1928, came back again, looking the same, kicking these people's ass about trying to sell out Noble Drew Ali, putting the same truth out that was going around back then, right? Playing games with people. Right? So then he comes up in now 2014 now. Once again, this is the way Islam came to America through Master Fard Muhammad and Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's 2006. So now 2014 now. Let's look at Noble Drew Ali. This is Farrakhan again, his own words or whatever. Right? Let's look at Noble Drew Ali, a man that died a young man. He lived from 1886 to 1929. I salute my brother. He is the first man to bring Islam to us in the way he tried to bring, and I thank him and I thank Allah for him. He said, the Moors were enslaved by reducing their mentality to that of Negroes, blacks, and colored people. As a man thinketh, so is he. He's calling all black people in America Moors, but Moors is the name given to the Muslims of North Africa that invaded the Iberian Peninsula and brought Islam to Spain and Portugal and southern France. So he's calling us Moors, and he dressed his followers in the fez of the Muslim people of the East. He also is quoted as saying, and I want to, big quotes because somebody sent me this quote today, right? And we just want to put it on the record again, just so, whatever. He is also quoted as saying, Moors, you sleep too much. Wake up and see the 7 bridges crossing the sky. Can you see that you are a people, not an organization? We are a people. We are a nation. So Farrakhan knows that we're Moors, right? Came around, full 360. And remember that we told people that the only reason that they started doing that Dianetics Scientology crap is because they were bringing it back to more science, underground. If they just came out and said more science, then everybody's not going to want to be Nation of Islam no more. And now you have people in Nation of Islam, kind of backpedaling in Nation of Islam, but don't want to leave because, honor to, Farrakhan, whatever like that.
Right.
But he's not telling these people that he has nationality,
Mm-hmm.
Through naturalization, and that he's not X, but you have all these 10X, 14X, 85X, all these people with X talking about, oh yeah, we give up the slave name, but you don't know what your name is, but the leader of your stuff has L or B or something like that, because he had to proclaim his nationality, through that naturalization process. He's not just going to be Farrakhan. He's going to be Farrakhan L or B or Al or Day or Ali or something like that. They're not going for it. They're not going for it. You can also do your research on the Freedmen's Bureau. Right? Well, actually, just touch on a little bit of this. Important points of the Freedmen's Bureau. The act authorized the Secretary of War to direct such issues of provisions, clothing, and fuel as he may deem needful for the immediate and temporary shelter and supply of destitute and suffering refugees and freedmen and their wives and children. In addition, it provided that the Commissioner could set aside tracts of land within the insurrectionary states as shall have been abandoned, and to every male citizen, whether refugee or freeman, there shall be assigned not more than 40 acres of such land, and the person to whom it was so assigned shall be protected in the use and enjoyment of the land for a term of 3 years. The provision for land also allowed freedmen and refugees to purchase land, although the language of the statute was vague as to how that might come about and whether the federal government actually had the authority to do so. Before long, Bureau agents were negotiating labor contracts and even setting up courts to arbitrate disputes among freedmen and between blacks and whites. One of the agents' more challenging tasks was protecting free people from discrimination in local courts by local officials. As the Bureau's expiration date drew near, it was obvious to many that its services were still desperately needed in the South in spite of the fact that the war was over. In fact, to many it seemed that the end of the war produced a greater need for a government agency to watch over the freed people. In addition to violence and prejudice, emancipation brought discriminatory laws known as black codes in many southern states. Those who objected to the bill raised questions about the authority of the different branches of government to enact and enforce such legislation. They asked whether the material needs of freed people and refugees were the concern of the states or of the federal government. They challenged the legislation's authority to enact such legislation during peacetime. In the end, both houses of Congress passed, but President Andrew Johnson vetoed it. Among the concerns raised in his veto message, Johnson claimed that what had originally been a wartime measure would have no limitation in point of time, but will form a part of the permanent legislation of this country. He argued that the bill would give the Freedmen's Bureau too much power and that it would be too expensive to maintain it. Ultimately, Johnson argued that the Freedmen's Bureau was unnecessary because freed people were protected under the Constitution and in the courts of the states and of the nation. Enacted on July 16, 1866, the new Freedmen's Bureau Act extended the life of the Bureau for 2 more years, provided for the creation of schools, authorized the Secretary of War to issue such medical stores or other supplies and transportation, and afford such medical or other aid, and defined ineligible those who could find employment and could by proper industry or exertion avoid such destitution, suffering, and dependence. Although its structure and function were pared down to the barest minimum by the end of 1868, the Freedmen's Bureau operated until June 1872. Historians have long debated the extent to which it was successful and what ultimately was the reason for its failure to fully protect and provide for freed people. Some point to President Johnson's explicit efforts to undermine the Bureau as well as his lenience toward Southern landowners. Others point to divisions in Congress and concessions that led to legislation inadequate to the task of supporting, funding, and staffing the Freedmen's Bureau and providing freed people with access to land. As these historians see it, the fault rests either with Howard or with the other employees of the Bureau who, in their ambivalence or outright racism, did not help freed people as much as they could have. And then that's why Noble came after that crap that they tried to pull and founded the Moorish Divine National Movement so that his people can have something worth, you know, way more than what some foreigner could give them, because it came from their own who was in the position of a sovereign, which means that he had the judicial authority, he had the legislative authority, he had the executive authority to implement what had to be implemented to get these people out of this so-called, you know, Jim Crow and racism and discrimination and all these things that they were complaining about, that, you know, why are we going through this if we're blah, blah, we need to get out of whatever, right? Now, we did say that this class is based on the divine warning to the nations, right? Divine warning to the nations. Okay. Now, when we say the nations, we're not talking about, you know, the people who don't have this info or whatever like that, right? And need this info. We're talking about these frauds out here that call themselves a nation when they're not in a goddamn nation, they're an organization probably some 501c3 whatever getting hit off from the U.S. corporation in order to exist, and then fronting to people that they're repping some nation when you ask them for, if you say that you're Islamic nation, where's your Islamic nationality card? You should have something. If you're saying that you're Israelite nation, no problem with that. Where's your card that says it? Where's your paper? Don't show me some papers that say Hebrew nation or whatever like that. You want to see that? Show me something that you're, because if you're a nation in a particular land and you're claiming to have some jurisdiction to tell all these other people that they're part of that or whatever, right? Then there should be some type of political activity. We should be able to go to somewhere around here, some whether it's kangaroo court, Supreme Court, whatever, highwayman office. We should be able to go to somewhere and ask them, yo, you ever heard of these people? And they should be able to say yay or nay. And if they say, yeah, we heard of them, they should be able to go in the back, pull out something that says, yeah, we dealt with these people in this instance, in this instance, in this instance, and we down there, we stopped them, whatever like that. Go to court, they should have some type of transcript or something like that to prove their claim. But none of these people could prove their claim, right? So one of the nations that we wanna make sure that we talk about, so-called nations, just to put some information out there, just so that they can know that they're not out of don't think you guys are skeeting by because of some stuff, right? I want to speak about the nation of gods and earths. And again, we want to also to put this on the record too, so people don't think that this is some, separation crap. Take it off the wall. Take it off the wall so people know what's up. Right? We're not talking about, we're not talking about dissing nobody. We're talking about, if we're claiming that we're all one family, if we're claiming that we're a conscious community, right? And if you check the pattern, it's either kufi, turban, or fez going on in here, right? This is off the wall, so people know that we're not pushing no separation, and we're not pushing no, you know what I mean? We don't honor people. We only honor these people, and we honor Noble Drawley. We don't honor anybody else. You guys can see who's in the picture. We already know that everybody gets honored. So don't get it twisted.
By my ends, there's a Hindu temple. So
Yeah.
they put their name up last week, and the other day they come with a picture, circle. You know what I mean? Bam, 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 bam. They got a cross. They got a little Muslim thing. They got a sickle.
Everybody's
thing. They got
everybody's stuff.
Everyone has their little boom, boom, boom on their sign had everyone else. You know what I mean? On the thing.
Everybody's on it, right? So we want people to know that Moors, we don't care if you say that you're Moors and then call yourself nation of whatever you want to call yourself. Yes. If you're calling yourself nation whatever and then dissing Moors, like you're not Moors too, when Moor means any dark-skinned person, and everybody who's in that picture right there that's a head of one of these organizations out here that all these people belong to are dark-skinned, then all of them are Moors. Stop playing around, proclaim your Moorish nationality, then go be whatever you want to be. Right? Just tired of and again, with that with this crap, right? That's the whole point of this. They have the Kemetic guy on there, they have the African whatever guy on there, they have the Moorish guy on there, they have the whatever, they have the Kemetologist guy, they have the Hebrew whatever guy, they have all the freaking guys on there, right? But then the only one on there that has a nationality is Taj, Tariq Bey. And everybody else is some fraud But then they're gonna talk about, yeah, this is about unity. That's not unity. That's some rally. Because if that was unity, everybody on there would have a nationality. If that's unity, go check all the marches going on for all type of other stuff that's going on. Pick a nation. Just pick one. Just close your eyes, point to the map, open your eyes, wherever your finger is, Google that place marching somewhere and tell me how much flags they got. Tell me if they care about who's Christian, Muslim, atheist, whatever, when they go march. All of them are repping one flag. Not 50, 100 different flags waving around. All those people, regardless of their skin tone, religious denomination, or whatever like that, whether they're upper class, lower class, middle class, whatever, when it's unity time, everybody has one flag that they're waving. And our people are the only crazy people out there thinking that they can, call themselves adjectives, continents, all these things that have no bearing, go march, get choked out and whatever like that, and then claim somebody did something to them without looking at their self and saying they did it to themselves by not being human beings, wanting to be it. So we're sending out a shout because, same thing, just like we said, you know what I mean? 2008, 2008, dropped the book, right? Told all the people, Garveyites, Rastafarians, Black nationalists, Pan-Africans, whatever like that, Nation of Gods and Earths, all those guys, don't be fooled. Nation of Gods and Earths came to the temple, sat down, did class and all that type of stuff. Want to know about nationality? Everybody got some type of case or whatever out there that they're dealing with. They're coming to see what's up, right? Nuapians, they're out there talking about whatever like that. Had, just the other day, school in Nuapian. You guys are a nation of Moors. You guys have your own seal constitution or whatever like that. Why are you playing around?
Yeah, why are you messing around?
Why are you messing around? That you're not Moors. When Doc gave you guys a constitution, you have your own Nuapian Moors constitution. Right? Go to the Nation of Gods and Earths. They're going to show you their flag. And their flag has a 7 in a circle that looks like a star. There's not no star. That's a 7 in a circle. But they're not more. They're gods. Then women's are earths. Right? Pushing some patriarchy. When the males are really the earths, and the women in that are the gods. And they're pushing some patriarch crap. Talk about only man creates stuff, woman doesn't create, she's supposed to take care of a household or whatever like that. That's their lessons. Right? So 5% nation. Clarence 13's X group was initially known as Sons of Almighty God Allah. After Malcolm X's death, the group became known as the 5%ers or the 5% nation. Once again, call yourself nation, you better have some type of something to verify that you're a nation. We're not mad, but if you're making a claim, we're going to challenge you as Moors. No different than man says he claims that he's a judge. Show me your delegation of authority order. You claim this is a court? Why you got a charter? Courts don't have charters. You claim that you're a police officer? Well, really? If you're a police officer, why are you not in your office? Why are you out here talking to people? If you're an officer, you have an office. And you're never in your office. I'm going to tell you that the car's their office. That's why the computer's in there and the whatever, the mobile office. You're not gonna pull those ones on Mars.
The car is the car.
Like, don't even go there, right? The name was drawn from the Nation of Islam's claim to be the 5% of the black community who knew and promoted the truth about God. Clarence 13X considered his movement to be the 5% of the NOI that still held to truth and integrity. So even Clarence 13X knew that there was no truth and integrity in the Nation of Islam. That's why he left.
And to go do the next thing.
Right? The assistants were assigned to spread the group's teachings to younger people, many of whom took African names, including some from non-Islamic societies. Now, pay attention. Clarence 13X taught Afrocentrism to his disciples and often wore the shiki. Male 5%ers frequently wore tasseled kufis. Oh, you don't believe that? Just go look up Lakim Shabazz. Just go look up Poor Righteous Teachers. Just go look up Brand Nubian. All the so-called 5%ers, hip-hop artists, and see how they used to dress when they used to be whatever, and you see that they got Africa pendants, all that type of stuff, which is the Afrocentricity. You see that they got kufis with tassels on them. This only means Moors or Masons. If somebody has this, either you're saying that you're a Moor or you're saying that you're a Mason. That's it. Or you're saying that you're a thing, because curtains got tassels, and drapes got tassels, and tablecloths have tassels too. And obviously they're not tablecloths and drapes or whatever like that. Obviously they're not Masons, so only one thing that it could be. But they don't want to claim that they're that. They want to be the gods of something. Right? After Malcolm X's death, oh, this part too. Eventually, Clarence 13X stopped identifying himself as a Muslim and spoke out against the reverence of Fard Muhammad, casting him as a mystery god. This is after, right? Realize that, that picture with Fard, doing they say that he's Allah or whatever, Allah. There's a guy like this. Who you trying to fool, right? No different than, dirty Moors trying to fool new Moors, think that, yeah, this is some, pray to Noble Drew Ali and, no civics and all that type of stuff. And, this has nothing to do with law or whatever like that. You don't run no game on Moors who study. Just like NOI is not running game on no Father Allah. Who knew, Allah, arm, leg, arm, head, or whatever like that. If Fard's Allah, then, hey, I'm Allah. Just like with the same thing with the Rastafarians. If Haile Selassie is God and he's a man, then why am I subordinate to him when we both have a navel? After Malcolm X's death in '65, Clarence X mourned his loss but did not attend his funeral. In May '65, while visiting the site of Mosque Number 7, then closed, Clarence 13 and several of his companions were told to leave by police officers. They left, began to vandalize nearby buildings, blocked the street near the former headquarters of the Muslim mosque. More police arrived, an altercation, put into custody, blah, blah, blah. About 60 of his followers attended his arraignment, but were removed from the court after shouting peace. Clarence 13X proclaimed his innocence and announced his intent to defend himself in court. Only people that defend themselves in court are Moors. Only people, put it on the record again, only people who defend themselves in court are Moors. That's why we put it on the record that Afeni Shakur, she went to court and defended herself and the 60 other Black Panther members with 500 or something like that charges, and all their stuff got off. And then that's why you have the picture of Tupac doing this. And everybody listen to Tupac, hey mama, and all that stuff like that. But you're not gonna proclaim your nationality? Play like this is not real, right? The National Urban League, formerly known as the National League on Urban Conditions Among Negroes, remember they're gods. They're a nation of gods and earths. The National Urban League, formerly known as the National League on Urban Conditions Among Negroes, a civil rights organization based in New York City that advocates on behalf of African Americans and against racial discrimination in the United States, is the oldest and largest community-based organization of its kind. The Nation of Gods and Earths established a headquarters in Harlem section of Manhattan, the Allah School in Mecca, previously known as the Street Academy, was founded in 1966 through the Urban League. So if these guys are gods and earths and they're their own nation, why are they going to the National League on Urban Conditions Among Negroes to get help to start their Allah School in Mecca? Clearly, you're Negroes. Clearly, you're not no gods of nothing. Stop playing people, right? Proclaim your nationality, be Moors, and then claim that school of Mecca back. And get it out from under that civil rights crap that y'all thought was, them helping. Yeah, they're assisting us, because they know the obligation that they have to the slaves in America or whatever like that. You just sold yourself to the state. And not even to the state. You sold yourself to some civil rights organization that's sanctioned by the state. Not even to the state. It's not even state funds. It's some organization that assisted them to get their stuff. And then the organization is the National League on Urban Conditions Among Negroes. And then you could go research them and find out how much other people that they funded in order to be who they are. The non-partisan civil rights organization based in New York City. Oh yeah, whose current president is Mark Morial. Morial. Once again, taking these people's sovereignty, using their sovereignty against them, and have them thinking that they're the gods of something. They're not gods of nothing. They're some Negroes talking about your name's Allah and whatever. Your Negro name Allah. Stop playing games. Stop playing like you're something that you're not. And follow the teachings of the noble prophet Drew Ali and get yourself back in order. Because this ship that these people think that they're part of or whatever like that or whatever is sinking. All those licenses that you got that doesn't have, born Allah King on it and whatever else that you call yourself is going down. going down, right? Now, quick question. Actually, we have one comment. Somebody sent a comment. Want to touch that just to show how people know what the hell's up, right? I was at a nail shop yesterday, and the Asian lady who serviced me kept saying that we are family, and how she didn't want to work on the European lady because she liked working around her family. And she would point to my skin complexion, then point to hers. Right?
That's what family
The Asian lady at the nail store. Right? And the question is, what did she mean by this? I'll tell you what she meant by that. This is what she meant by that. Remember, it's the Asian lady, right? Nail store, so you already know. Asian lady. Right?
Asiatics.
Divine origin of the Asiatic nations. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America. Well, this is chapter 45 of the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple, Moorish Holy Temple of Science. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations. The Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca, the Egyptians, who were the Hammatites and a direct descendant of Mizraim, the Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese, the Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites from the land of Canaan, the Asiatic nations and countries in North, South, and Central America, the Moorish Americans and Mexicans in North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and natives of San Salvador in Central America. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam by the command of the great universal God Allah. So that's why she was down to serve her God. Because, she just came out and said that, you're my God or whatever. You might not get your nails done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? She was serving her God, the melanin dominant woman. Serving her God proudly. Told her, I want to work on
You want to deal with that lady.
I want to deal with her. I could make your nails look good. I ain't going to make her nails look good. That's not what this is about. Right? Everybody knows, except Negro and black colored people, playing the game. Playing the game. Also, you're gonna got a link sent, because more just study, send stuff or whatever. You don't hold their findings.
Yeah.
Got this over there. We're not gonna tell anybody. We want to do this. When we reveal it to the world now, we are the ones that no. Moors don't do those ones. You're not hiding nothing. So Moore sent a link. This video about the Negro soldiers, aka the magical Negro, who runs to protect his slave master. The video is great for study purposes to show how the enemy distorted and revised historical accounts. So it's called The Negro Soldier on YouTube. The Negro Soldier. Go check that one out. And Another question slash comment. I guess I'm not sure how to word this, but after doing some research today, I was looking at New York and made some connections and wanted to know if you could build more on this. New York was once known as New Dutchland, Deutschland, Deutschland. Deutschland was once the name for Germany, and the capital city of New York is Albany, which etymologically leads back to Albion albino. Also knowing that Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, was once known as York, and was also the place where Moors here fell. Were they telling us something without saying it? You already answered all the all the questions. You already answered all the questions, right? That's why New York is also known as the Empire State, right? That's why the Statue of Liberty is not really some, you know, what you call it, clay looking whatever. It was originally bronze or whatever like that.
Copper, yeah.
It represents sister or copper, right? It represents a sister, right? And then she has the seven, you know what I mean, right? The seven stuff, right?
Going on, yeah.
To show, you know, and then when you look at the legs, she has the chain that's broken, you know, and then she's holding the light, you know, which is knowledge, right? And then, you know, when you look at you know, same thing like you're saying, New York, the Albany, Philadelphia, known as York, you know, Toronto is being known as York,
You got East York,
right?
North
You
York,
got East York, North
Fort
York,
York,
Fort
Old
York, all
York,
these Yorks around here,
Old York.
right? It's all the same
Mhm.
story being told by different inquisitionists based on, you know, the ignorance. Same thing Chris Ross talking about. You know, the guy who doesn't get the joke, that guy's a stupid guy. Right? The one who gets the joke, you know, it's not racism or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, they ain't choke nobody out, kill nobody, shot somebody 50 times. Did you get the joke? You're it. You know, tag you're it, but tag is shoot you to death. Tag is billy club you to death. Tag is put you in a cell, make you rot. Tag is choke you out in the corner. Tag is tase you. Tag is and then we're always it. They're never it. Right? They're never ever it. Ever it. They got their little crew, dress up like Moors, right? Put crosses on people's lawn, burn them and stuff like that, right? I have these people talking about, oh my gosh, whatever like that, when they're dressing up like Moors, and then the people who's getting stuff burned, you know, they're Christians, and then they never ask the question, why are they burning crosses or whatever? Shouldn't they revere the cross? Like, why would you burn a cross if you know Jesus is Lord and Savior or whatever? Should like what? Why would you burn something else other than crosses? Why are you gonna burn a cross on somebody's lawn? Obviously, you know, crosses. Right? Crosses. Don't do crosses. We burn those. Don't do crosses. But they don't want to, you know, they don't want to get it. They're it. The joke of the world. Negro, black, colored people. And now conscious people are getting in that thing too. And they don't even know that they're getting in that. They think this is some kind of game. It ain't no game. This is real. So real. Right? Once again, oral statements, just so we can, you know, get some Drawley in there. Because we got to get some Drawley in there. Just so, you know, we don't get lightning bolts and stuff like that. Because I'm not getting lightning bolts for nobody. Forget that crap. Right? 156. Brother I. Cook Bay of Illinois said that the Holy Prophet said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm going to lead some of you Moors all the way up to salvation, and you are going to turn around and go the other way. Right? That's prophecy manifested. That Noble Drew Ali came, right? Told all the, remember, the only individuals on this who's Noble Drew Ali's age is Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey. Everybody else is a student of Noble Drew Ali in this. Everybody else is a student. Haile Selassie, Marcus Garvey are the only individuals amongst all these leaders that were during Noble Drew Ali's time. Oh yeah, and Sheikh Dawood, right? Right, 1891. Right? Okay. Ben Amin, 1940. Drew Ali, 1886. Oh yeah, Dr. Pedro Campos, 1891. Haile Selassie, 1897. Clarence 13X, 1929. Garvey, 1887. Al Imam Isa, Al Hadi, Al Mahdi, Malachi York L, Al Mahdi and all that crap. 1945. Elijah Muhammad, 1897. Malcolm X, 1925. Farrakhan, 33. Yahweh Ben Yahweh, 36. Martin Luther King, 29. Right? You know what's up. All of them brought right up to the line, saw the line, saw Noble Drew on the other side of the line, and they were like, I'm gonna draw my own line over here. And we're gonna go this way.
Everyone's drawing their own line.
Fools. And then all these people following them. 155. Brother G. Cook Bay of Temple 1 said that he asked the Holy Prophet to tell him about a particular star in the heavens. And the Holy Prophet told him, if you go and get 10 people, I will tell you about that star. Brother C. Cook Bay said that he could not get anyone, but he returned to the Holy Prophet and informed him of that.
But not even 10 people.
Go get 10 people. That star right there. You go get 10 people, I'll tell you everything you need to know about that star. Man came back with nobody. The Holy Prophet told him, I can tell you some things that would turn your brain to water. The Holy Prophet said, this is the uniting of Asia. But yeah, let's just get this one again. Just so we can, just get this one again. Remember this one. Right? Remember this one. Okay. I'm talking about people going against the Prophet or whatever. Want to know what they're coming to them? 153. Sister A. Brown L. of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said, don't throw away your Bibles because I'm going to use them to condemn the government. And, Buddy didn't even just throw away the Bible. He shot the Bible up or whatever. You don't think nothing's coming back? You think you're going to leave this plane and not have to, it's like the comic with the Klansman gets to Heaven's Gate and then God's a brother. And he's like, oh, shit. You're sure not getting it.
Wrong club,
though. 151. Brother I. Cook Bay of Illinois said that the Holy Prophet said, if you doubt that I'm a prophet, watch my prophecies. Just watch them prophecies. Just watch. 150. Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, in 2 weeks, I'm going down south. When I get down there, the Ku Klux Klan is going to stop me. At first, it is going to look like they are against me. Then they are going to lead me to where I'm going. And then don't forget, Nation of Islam followed that pattern. And they had, Ku Klux Klan, Nazis or whatever like that, come to Nation of Islam meetings, sitting in there, you know what I mean, to hear what's up. Garvey, he had Klan following him around the place. Go read his book, right? Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. He'll talk about when he went to the South and Klan was trying to press up on him on some, whatever like that, and he was on some. You guys better lead the way, because it ain't going down how you guys think it's gonna go down. Like, it ain't going down like that. I'm not those Negroes. I know that. I mean, this might be called Negro improvement or whatever, but don't even get it twisted. We come from yard, brethren. Yeah, yardie it up. Right? 147. The Holy Prophet told the Moors they sleep too much. Plain and simple. Stop sleeping, wake up. 141, Sister A. Brown L. of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet said, one day some of you Moors are going to be walking around with skippers. Those are maggots falling out of you, praying to die, and you won't be able to die. That's why those pork Moors, didn't get their detox, didn't do their whatever, didn't do their stuff, and they have stuff in them. Don't worry. Those skippers are going to reach skin level soon. Because everything is advancing. Everything's advancing. Just like roaches, your raid ain't working on those no more. You have to give those the violent stomp or whatever. You stomp on roaches, they're still running away and stuff like that. You got rats in New York looking like this. Trust me. Right? Stuff is going down with nature. So we're not even ready for certain stuff when it kicks off. We're not going to be ready, right? So we better start changing ourselves so that other people out there can change, because what's coming down is not what we want to deal with. Straight. 140. Brother J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet said, if you don't leave here right with me this time, you won't make it back here in human form. 139. Brother J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet said, if you are not careful, your own brothers will try to put you in slavery. Right? Your own brothers would try to put you in slavery. Man, you could try. They have a right to try. If you let them is, what the deciding factor is going to be. Are you a student of the teachings of Noble Drew Ali? If you're a student of the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, yeah, they're going to try to put you in slavery. If you're not a student and you just think, more, let's get a card or whatever like that, you will be paying some $5,000, $3,000 for your nationality for papers that cost $2 to print or whatever like that. And people will game you, because that's the whole idea, right, of ingenious people. Get you to fall for some BS that they're pushing, naturalization and all that stuff. You know what I mean? You get gamed, and then you throw out the baby with the bathwater, thinking that you're giving up something, when you should be going back to those individuals who robbed you and grab them by the neck and strangle them. That's what you should be doing. The guy who said $1,500 for your papers, and then papers didn't work, you should go give those guys some visits, knock their doors and stuff. Go find that guy. Don't diss the Moorish movement. Don't diss your birthright. Don't diss Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Go find that guy that sold you that package. Go find that guy that when you got kidnapped and you called the number and the number's not in service or whatever like that.
Yeah.
You know, you get out and you see him at a lecture and then you're like, oh yeah, what's up
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
this
Hey, how
guy.
you doing? You know what I mean?
Called
I
you,
didn't
trying to
see you
get.
in a long time or whatever. No, grab that guy by the neck, strangle that guy. That's what you should be doing. You don't play with these dirty Moors. Now, they weren't playing with you when they robbed you 1,500. They weren't playing when they didn't return your call when you got kidnapped. They were very serious with leaving you to rot. Right? Find those people. And then when you find them, make sure you do video or something like that. Put their name out there, put their website out there, put their phone number out there, so that everybody knows that that guy is the guy that robbed you, gamed you, did something to you,
Yeah,
so that nobody else could get gamed. And earn yourself a place, you know, back here in human form. You know, if you decide to come back here. Because this is this is it for the airplane. It's all about
Yeah,
echelon after this. They ain't coming back here for nothing. If this is what it's going now, this is where it's going now, they're not gonna come back here.
Next round.
What yo? That's like, you know, Terminator or whatever. Come back and machines everywhere. Everybody got chips. Everybody's bunning weed with, you know, fake lungs or whatever like that. No, no, not even. Not even. Right. 135. Brother J. Blakely Bay told the Moors that the Holy Prophet told the Moors people are going to be dying like hogs with cholera, and the doctors won't know what is wrong with them. The only thing that is going to save them is my remedies. "132. Sister M. Howell Bay of Temple 19 said that the Holy Prophet said, I'm going to stop the Europeans from thinking if two or three of them get together on something, they will go back and tear it up. 131. The Holy Prophet said, one day the United States will not be able to do any business unless they do it through the Asiatics. 130. Brother E. Thomas L. said that the Holy Prophet said all nations will turn against the United States one day. Right? That's prophecy that's manifesting right now. Everybody is against the United. Remember, and keep in mind, he didn't say United States of America or United States of America Republic or whatever. He was specific back then. Remember, this is back then, before U.S corporate whatever takeover. He's talking about everybody's going to be against U.S. Drawley knew what was up, and he didn't hide anything. He gave us everything it takes to save a nation. 128. Brother E. Thomas L. of Temple 43 said the Holy Prophet said, money will be burnt in the streets, and we won't be able to buy much. And when I put my spirit in the streets, you won't be able to sell your car for 25 cents. 127. Brother T. Booker Bay said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I'm going to let the fire scorch some of my good Moors. So, you know, let's get ready, good Moors. You know, everybody's going to get their, their scorching because we all, you know, dropped a ball once in a while, you know. We all slipped a little, you know. But it's not a negative, you know what I mean? You know, you touch the red thing on the stove, you get a burn, you never touch shit again. Right? Unless you want, you know, unless you want more, right? And then we'll close out on 126. Brother O. Peyton Bay of Temple 4 and 25 said that the Holy Prophet told the Moors, I'm going to let fire touch some of you old Moors' shirt tails. So not only, you know, are The good Moors getting it. But old Moors, they're gonna get theirs too. Just because. You know, just because. So Canaanland Moors class, get yourself ready. Um, blog talk at 9:30. We want to say Islam to all the Moors worldwide. Peace, Hotep, Islam. If you want to get the Muslim Journal, no withdrawal, you just link them, muslimjournal.com. You want to get volume 31, number 27, April 7th, 2006. Volume 31, number 27, April 7th, 2006. Searching for Allah, Moral Science, Noble Ali, Forerunners to Nation of Islam, front page on the Muslim people's stuff, showing that even they know what's up. So Islam, Moors, peace, love, and Hotep. We'll just give ourselves our closeout, and don't forget hit the beginning of this to get your you know, to get your bling. You know what I mean? 'Cause, we got to keep ourselves protected around here. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through His holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam, Ashe. Rome must fall. Peace, Moors. Check y'all at 9:30.